Hello everyone, I'm Frenzyingmisfit, and for today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my approach to Wisp and the Helminth system. Now a quick disclaimer before I start this video, I do not share builds simply for people to copy and paste them. I share them so that you can see my process and how it works for me. Alright, so at the very beginning I kind of want to just cover my idea over the Helminth system. So when I look at Wisp, I see her as a very high crowd control character. And I also see that she has multiplicative damage in her kit. So what we're going to do is we are going to spawn in some corrupted heavy gunners. And for this beginning part, I'm just going to be using her 3, and then I'm going to explain why I use the Helminth ability. So this is her 3. For every enemy that I hit, damage will go from one enemy to the other, but it will be multiplied of the damage that I did. So I'm going to shoot at this enemy, and it should probably shoot at one of these enemies. Alright. So I'm going to... Alright, now you see how the bolts went away and away? Now, it's not really that effective when it's just one enemy, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to respawn them in. And this idea I got from doing with my friend. Basically, I was testing out my mag in here, and my friend was playing a Wisp, and I got to see how it works. So this kind of was the origin to it, and because I can't get mags magnetized, this was the next best thing I could think of, and fastest. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to link these enemies, and I'm going to use something that will hit all the enemies at once. Now I'm going to be using my melee weapon for this. But you could use anything, like you could use Ignis or just anything that would hit all of these enemies at once. Alright. So now I combine it with my 3, and all I'm going to do is melee. Now keep in mind, this first run, I'm just going to be building up my combo, so it's not going to be nearly as fast, but realistically, in the endgame sense, I would have already had my combo built, and it's really easy to keep it up the whole time. Alright. So you see, I think I did like 3 or 4 hits there and level 125 stat. Alright, now this one, I'm gonna just speed this up, and then I'm gonna go over to the other group of 6, just so I have that like 12 times, and alright. Now, that looks all good and everything, but the crucial thing to where the damage comes into this, from what I've seen, is doing a slam down attack. I'm not the best at doing it. I kind of found out that you have to be within like a certain range to do a slam down attack, but after I do the slam down attack, that should be all I need to kill them. So I'm going to... Alright, so there was a slam down attack, and if you guys were to pause the video, you guys would see that the damage is way higher with that slam down attack than it is with any other. This should... Alright. So you see, when I do one slam down attack, it's enough to kill him. And I've tested this too, like... I'll pull out another weapon real quick. I'll pull out Fang Prime. I was actually working with this last night. Can't find it. Alright. I was actually working with this last night, and it honestly, it was just more or less to show you guys. I don't use the Fang Prime too often, but I should slam down on the first attack. And keep in mind too, that was without building up my combo multiplier at all. That was just base damage. Like now I have a 6 times. And then I'll show you guys with 10 times. Alrighty, we'll get back to you in just 1 second. Alright, now for the builds, the part you guys probably, hopefully haven't been waiting for. Alright, so keep in mind, this build is to support my 3 and 4, but it also works in sync with my 1 and 2. So I didn't use my shock motes at all. You're going to see a video later on that's going to cover how effective it is. You're going to see the enemies constantly getting stunned, and that's because if you and your companion are both alive, then your companion and you both have the most, because an ally does count as your companion. So if you have 4 people in one room, you could have up to 8 times of this effect stacking, and that just works really well with it, considering the range is 37 meters. I don't really need the vitality mode. Like, I probably didn't even need to place in the survivals I did. The only reason I did place it was because it kind of just means I don't have to put something like adaptation in, because it's working against stats procs like heat or toxin with that natural regeneration. Alright, so now into the build. I tried to get almost as high range as I could have. Like, I could have thrown a little bit more range, but that would have just kind of took away from everything else. The strength, I have it at 134%, but you could honestly have it at 100% if you wanted, if you were trying to go for my approach. I think it works really well. I think I have like a 2.6 or 2.68 multiplier. Yeah, 2.68. And even though like this range is longer than the 4 of the larva, it still works really well, because the radius here is 45 and the radius here is 20. And yeah, so that's pretty much the build, and it all kind of just flows together well. Like, I could have taken off Streamline, and I could have thrown in like a fleeting expertise, had just a little bit less duration, but at the end of the day, that just comes down to preference. And in the clips you're about to see, when I was doing the survival, I was running with Arcane Awakening. I just got a little bit of Arcane Energized to kind of tweak with it. It does work good. If you have a max Arcane Energized, then it would work extremely well, and you'd be 100% energy efficient. And yeah, that's pretty much Wisp. And let me see, let me go over back to my Orthos. And this is the build I ran with it. I'm honestly just trying to stack up my procs. I could take out Primed Reach probably, and I could put in either Sacrificial Pressure, or I could put in True Steel. I could put in either one of those, and it would probably give me some red crits. I go Prime Reach because I like the range, and as long as it comes with builds too, don't feel pressured to do any kind of build, even if it's coming from a video of mine. Build how you want to build, and just try to over-encompass the way you like to play. Like me, I like range. I've always liked range. I remember the days when Orthos could hit people from 10 meters away instead of 4. So I built for range, and one of the best ways to do that is when I'm building up range, I also build up my combo counter faster. If I wasn't building for range, then I would probably take off my Blood Rush and Weeping, and then I would put in stuff like Prime Pressure or Spoiled Strike for extra damage. And again, these builds, like, just because I point out these items doesn't mean that's the only way to build. You build however you feel comfortable with. Alright, and then yeah, so this is this part of the video, and the next part of the video is just going to be some clips in me doing a Steel Path Kuva survival. And I'm not going as fast as I could be in these clips I'm going to show you. Like, I could like go for the highest kills, and I could just keep my meleeing. However, I'm just trying to show you how the damage scaling works and how smooth her kit feels, to me at least, and why I put the Nidus larva inside of Wisp for the Helminth system.
Life support activated. been replenished. Look what our Tenno Op just found. They could not... The more successful we will be. Life support has been replenished.